Timberwolves closed out the regular season here tonight with a win over the Pelicans, 132 to 126. But the headline is that the Timberwolves will now play the Denver Nuggets in the postseason. Welcome to Wolves Live, presented by Postman Law with Rebecca Brunson. I'm Marnie Gellner. Yes, the Wolves won this game, but it didn't change Minnesota's seeding, which is 6th. What we were watching was other games in the league, and the Nuggets ended up winning their game in San Antonio, which was a little bit surprising because if the Nuggets had lost, they would have dropped and could have ended up playing the Lakers in a 4-5 matchup, but or could have avoided playing, could have moved the Lakers up to 3.
Yes.
Denver would have dropped to 4 and played Houston. Sorry, that would have been the 4-5 matchup. But the Nuggets must want the Timberwolves because it is going to be Minnesota against Denver for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. And this is how the seeding will look in the Western Conference. OKC knew they had the 1 seed all wrapped up. They will get whoever finishes 8th. That's left to be decided, 7 and 8. But it is official. The Lakers finish 4, and it'll be Houston drawing a banged-up LA Lakers team in the 4-5 matchup, and the Timberwolves will be headed to Denver to face the Nuggets.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and that would have been going and playing a battered Lakers team. But now the Wolves are going to need a lot of skill to go and play against this Nuggets team that is playing extremely well this year. I mean, they've won, I think, 10 in a row, maybe 11. This one, 12 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
So playing great. You know, they're going to play through Jokic. They're going to play through a guy who is averaging a triple-double. He does what he does, right? He has not fallen off at all. Murray's having a great year right now. Career high in points, career high in assists. Cam Johnson has stepped in extremely well with them losing Michael Porter Jr. So all around, they're playing elite. They have the best offense in the league. So the Wolves' defense is going to be what is tested the most. So they're going to have to guard this Denver team. I know they fare well in the matchups that they usually get when they do play Denver. We've seen the playoff series. We've seen how competitive it gets. But this is a team that is playing great right now, and they're rolling. So the Wolves have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, it's been a surge for the Nuggets into the playoffs, getting guys healthy. And you mentioned Jamal Murray playing so well, Aaron Gordon getting healthy. A 54-win season for the Nuggets, and they will go into the playoffs having won 12 straight games. But it's almost a full week between the final game of the regular season and the first game of the playoffs. They don't start until Saturday. Game 1, Saturday afternoon at 2:30 for the Wolves and the Nuggets in Denver. That's game 1, Minnesota and Denver. And if it's like anything we've seen between these teams in the last handful of seasons, it is going to be a very entertaining round 1 matchup. That is set. All right, let's look at tonight's game between Minnesota and New Orleans, if only for the fact that there was some valuable time for the young reserves who don't often get big minutes in big spots. Joan Beringer was one who shined tonight.
He played great. You're talking about a double-double. He had 24 points and 12 rebounds. He played aggressively. I love the fact that now he, I think, is the youngest player for the Timberwolves to have 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks defensively. He was a lead on that side of the basketball. But it was fun to watch guys that you don't usually see get valuable minutes. And what you saw from these young guys is that they play fast. They play together. They're getting up and down the floor. They're able to score in the paint. A lot of them being aggressive and getting downhill. You saw the drop-off from the 3-ball from this group. So that is something that the Timberwolves value. So if you want to continue to carve out minutes, being able to extend your game, but it was fun, up and down, exciting, and it's good for them to feel some of that competitive nature before the playoffs start. So if they do get any time, that they'll be prepared for it.
It's a young and athletic group, for sure. Terrence Shannon Jr. led Minnesota in scoring tonight with 26 points and spoke on the court with Leah Bielsen.
TJ, we saw some great play out there tonight from the reserves, 56 bench points, everyone coming together. What did you see from the squad this evening?
Everyone shared the ball, everyone played hard, and we just followed the game plan and let the game come to us, and I feel like we did a real good job at that.
In these last few games where you've gotten significant moments on the court, and a lot of time you've really just kind of been unleashed. An incredible game tonight, leading the team in scoring, doing a little bit of everything. And what has it felt like to you to kind of let loose and have that moment?
It felt good. Plus the win, Johan had his career high, so I was happy for him, but it felt good just playing.
So we know now that you guys are going to face Denver in the playoffs, and what we know about this team and what you know about this team, what's the mindset need to be going into that series?
One game at a time. One game at a time. That's the mindset.
All right, we look forward to watching it.
Good, thank you.
What's up next is the playoffs for Chris Finch and the Timberwolves. We'll hear from the head coach coming up next. Postman delivers by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Treasure Island Resort and Casino, Minnesota's destination fun. Win number 49 on the season for a second consecutive season for the Timberwolves. Here's our Menards game summary. A 132-126 win for the Timberwolves. Joe Ingles, just 4 assists shy of a triple-double. He ended with a double-double, 15 points, 10 assists, 26 points for Terrence Shannon Jr. The Wolves made 10 three-pointers, got 13 blocks as a team, and had 56 points from the reserves collectively. Our post-game coverage begins with head coach Chris Finch, presented by Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
Chris, how did you feel about what you saw from the reserves overall tonight?
Good energy, really good energy. Love the way Enrique came in and Zion came in. Those guys played with a lot of effort and energy and pop. Johan obviously is super active out there, chasing everything. For the most part, it was, really good. So.
When you see the kind of activity Johan has, do you kind of just see all of this potential?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot to polish there, but the motor is high, and we've said from day one he's pretty fearless. He's got to keep learning on the job, and he did a good job the last 2 games of staying out of foul trouble, but still being a big presence defensively. So,
Chris, it's set now with Denver.
When you're in the 1 and 2 spot, of course, it's a great advantage to have finished there, but you got to wait later in the week, so you don't have the specifics. So you got to be working on a lot more general things. So I think you'd be a little bit more focused, knowing exactly who you're playing.
Is it nice to have had guys been able to take a few days off here in the rotation to be fresh heading into that, so you can really hit the practices
absolutely. But we got to have a really good start to the week. Get after it, almost like training camp mode. So,
Terrence Shannon Jr. played well again tonight. What is it meant for him to down the stretch of the season play well?
I thought his shot wasn't going from the outside, of course, but he was relentless attacking the basket, was rewarded with a lot of free throws. Just keep building on how he's been playing. It's huge. Just his confidence will be ready. Our confidence in him is high. There's going to be opportunities, as there always is for everybody in a playoff series. You just has to wait for it and see when it comes his way.
How relevant do you think the playoff series from 2 years ago is with Denver, given how much the rosters have changed?
I don't think it's overly relevant. It's obviously, they're we know exactly what their heart of the team is. Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Brown. Those guys are been together for a long time. The rest of the guys are kind of settled into their roles, and they've gotten healthy, so they've gotten a little bit deeper. And I think that's that depth that they didn't have a few years ago, which makes them a lot more, dangerous. So.
Do you guys feel like...
Chris Finch and the Timberwolves heading on to the postseason this weekend. Final games in the NBA tonight. Every seed is set in the East and in the West. And in the Western Conference, Denver ends up as the 3 seed. The Lakers end up as the 4 seed. So it'll be the Lakers and Rockets as the 4-5 first-round playoff. And it will be Minnesota heading to Denver as the 3-6 matchup. Game 1, Saturday afternoon at 2:30 in Denver. And that is round 1 for Minnesota. Earlier tonight, before this game, Rudy Gobert spoke in the Timberwolves locker room about the Wolves' mindset heading into the playoffs.
I would say we, as a team, we were resilient. You know, we had some ups and downs. You know, we had stretches when we weren't playing to our standards defensively, and then we had some really good stretches when we really found our defense, and we were able to do it consistently. So proud of the group, you know, and I think we really realized that this is our identity. You know, when we put our focus on the defensive end, we are the best version of ourselves, and coming into the playoffs, this is definitely our mindset.
And that mindset, do you feel like it just kind of clicks in and everyone's kind of on the same page with that, even though like tonight?
For sure. I mean, obviously you need to score to win basketball games, but for us, it's really interesting that where we really are individually and collectively really come in with that mindset, defensive mindset. We actually play better offensively too, you know, and it just creates this. It's like we get rewarded for the work that we put in, and then this is a big part of who we are as a team.
Not surprising that the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year would be talking about how important it is for the Wolves to play defense, but he's absolutely right, because the Wolves are a better team when they put their focus on the defensive end. We saw it last season. We did not see it consistently this season. How important do you feel like that is heading into the playoffs, which start on Saturday for Minnesota?
It's extremely important. You know, we just talked about Denver and how they are the best offensive team in this league. So the Wolves are going to have to make sure that they play the way that we've seen them play. Post-All-Star game, they went on a stretch where they were playing tremendously defensively, right? They were all connected. They played together. They were on a string, moving together, had active hands, and it was the entire team. There wasn't just one guy, right? They did it as a collective. So I do think that Rudy is right in the sense that the Wolves are going to have to play tremendously on the defensive side of the basketball. And he's also right in saying that you do need to score. So the Wolves' offense is equally as important. When you go into the playoff series, you want to be playing your best basketball on both sides of the basket, right? You have to play defense elitely, and then you have to score the basketball as well. And you know the Wolves are the best when they're moving the basketball, playing collectively. That's not just a one-man show. It's the entirety of the team, and it's great that they are healthy right now, because that is going to help them. You have Jaden back. Nas, I hope, is playing well, feeling well. Anthony Edwards came in. He played the other night and showed that he's feeling good. So it's going to be collective, and it's going to be on both sides.
And the Timberwolves, we've seen rise to the big moments, rise against the best competition, and that is what the playoffs are. They'll have a week to get ready for the Nuggets, and then hopefully be able to flip the switch and turn it on and deliver the postseason performance that we've seen over the last couple of seasons, and hopefully make another run to at least the Western Conference Finals. That is the hope. It begins on Saturday. Game 1 between the Timberwolves and Nuggets will be in Denver Saturday afternoon at 2:30. And we want to thank you all so much for watching this season of Timberwolves basketball here on FanDuel Sports Network. For all of us, our crew, our everyone, we've brought you Timberwolves basketball, and it has been our privilege and a joy once again this season. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Enjoy the postseason, everyone.